The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Welcome once again to The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing with Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. Today's episode, Poltergeist and Presence. Presence. It's the film where they found the Steadicam, I guess. It's the very first time these filmmakers had it, so they just said, well, let's do it with the whole time. Steadicam the whole time. It's going to be amazing. And then you've got Poltergeist. No, Steven, not yet. No, you said no. You said not to go into the light. Which is, better. Anyway, we'll see what the boys think about it. Take it away, fellas.
Should we just roll into how we're doing?
Yeah. Well, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm sore today.
You're
My
sore.
back is fucking killing me. Ugh. I smell like I just chewed a whole pack of wintergreen.
Why? Why? And how are those things related?
Because I've got the muscle stuff on.
Oh, the muscle stuff.
Yeah, the
Like
icy hot.
Like icy hot. Nice.
Exactly. It has gone through both icy and hot. And now we're just at, I feel clammy and I smell like a pack of wintergreen.
And my t-shirt is sticking to me
Yeah.
in a way that I really don't
Exactly.
appreciate.
I did a strength workout. I think it was yesterday, was it maybe? Normally I'm just doing the treadmill and push-ups and whatnot, and I did a strength workout. I was like, I got this. This is easy. Oh, I fucking put that fucking thing to shame.
Yeah.
And today I'm like, I don't know why I can't walk.
What did I do to myself? I've made poor choices. You reminded me, though, one of the weirdest jobs I ever had was I was a back model once. Did I talk about this already?
No, you've
Yeah.
never mentioned this to me.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
back model.
Yeah, for
All right.
those pads that they put on your back,
Sure.
that give you like the little electroshock to
Yeah.
This one was made by Bayer, I think.
Sure.
And so I just had to go in for a day and take my shirt off so they could shoot me from behind. Now that I
How does
think
that
about
casting go?
I didn't even send a W-2 for that.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever been paid.
Kept asking me to bend over more and no, take your shirt off, turn around, and they had me apply the thing on my back. And
Oh, they made
Was
you
it
apply
just-
it. That's a special thing. We're going to have someone apply it to you if
You know
you're
what?
okay.
I think I did have to demonstrate like how to do it myself or something
Sure.
like that. It was photos and videos. I think it might have even have been for like an in-house thing for Bear.
Can we find this online?
I've never seen it. I just cashed the check, baby.
Yeah.
I was done, and they were like, "Your money's on the dresser, Vanilla." Sweet. Sweet.
Don't look at the camera. Do not turn around.
Yes. You are a back model. I want to see no face.
Face in the pillow. Back model.
I've been a hand model a couple of times too, which is pretty
Sure.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even have nice hands, but somehow I scored that gig.
Did they need close-ups of like the Marlboro Man lighting a cigarette?
Actually, I think it was my forearms. I have very vascular forearms.
You do. I've always
And-
thought that.
And thanks. I appreciate it. He noticed. No, I had to do something for Hillshire Farms. I had to like stir some soup. And that's manly fucking soup. So they really wanted the real chunks of carrot and potato in there too.
This is chunky style, James, so we'd really like to see you struggling to get through it.
That's right. We're gonna need someone with obvious forearm strength to cut through this soup.
That's good. I didn't know that. We need to put some of these clips online in set pics on the Discord.
I've never seen the Hillshire Farms one either.
I understand because I have worked on so many things that I've never watched.
Oh, sure. Of course.
And everyone just assumes if you work on it, you're like going to watch it.
No.
But no, you're
That's
not.
not true.
Especially when you've done like fucking 300 things.
Speaking of watching, what are you watching on TV these days?
Mobland, I think, is pretty good.
Mobland? Which one is
it's
that?
on Paramount Plus. It's got...
Is that a Taylor Sheridan joint?
It is not.
Although, what does he call them joints? At this point, is it like, that's a Taylor Sheridan buckle?
What was that one we were writing?
Mustang Sally D.A.?
Mustang Sally D.A.
Sure.
Yeah. That's on the Patreon, folks. You got to go. That's specific Patreon-only comedy.
What's Mobland, though?
Mobland is Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah.
Talking like he's Irish.
And Helen Mirren in
And
that?
Helen Mirren
well.
playing a horrible harpy of a woman.
Oh.
It's a good show. I am all the way up
quite
to
a
the
cast.
final episode. It was originally supposed to be a spin-off of Ray Donovan.
Oh, also another show I didn't watch, but I heard was pretty good.
Ray Donovan was good. Yeah.
That's
I loved the first few seasons of Ray Donovan. It was towards the end I started to fade a bit. But yeah, we did a couple things on like season 5 or 6 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I just finished Hannibal. It took me forever to get through that show.
Did you like it in the end? I know you were waning at one point.
I was waning. Overall, I don't really think I liked that show that much, even though there was a lot of cool...
I gotta stop the recording now.
There's a lot of cool stuff about it. You know, Mads Mikkelsen, he's so fascinating as an actor. Like, he has a terrific zero. Like, he could just be on camera and not do anything, and you're like, man, that guy's fascinating.
Yep.
So he's always great. I thought the performances were always really good.
Sure.
But at the beginning of season 3, when they're in Italy, it was just so dreamy and weird and kind of hard to follow what the fuck was going on. When they finally get to the Red Dragon story in season 3, I was like, all right, let's go. And I did think that that was pretty cool.
Sure. But you'd already seen it twice in 2 other things, Manhunter
Sure, but you know,
Red Dragon.
Hannibal really played with the whole lore of all those Thomas Harris things a lot, so figuring out how certain things were going to happen was still fun. But in the end, I was kind of glad when I was done with it. It was like, I don't know if you ever get to a book and you're like 3/4 of the way through and you're like, I can't stop now. I just got to finish this and know how it all ends so it can be done. I found myself kind of getting that way with that show. And also, it suspends disbelief so much. Like, Hannibal himself is a bit of a Mary Sue in that. Like, he does everything really, really well.
Yeah.
They're lucky that they had an actor who has the charisma of Mads Mikkelsen to make you believe, like, sure, this tracks. But, like, he's setting up all those elaborate bodies, and essentially they're like art installations, and he's doing it in one night by himself under cover of darkness.
Yeah.
And
it's like setting up the bar for that one night in Sinners.
In Sinners? Yeah, exactly.
Setting up the juke joint.
If you were just one person doing it.
Yeah.
But speaking of TV, shit.
Yeah.
We got a classic here that has a lot to do with some TV. Makes us a little scared of TV.
Yeah. You know, our films that we chose tonight, Poltergeist and Presence, both start with a P.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Both directed by people with the initial SS.
Oh, well, yes.
Yes. Yes.
We'll get into that.
Sure. And both ghostly haunting pictures.
Yeah. Family pictures, both of them.
Family drama, ghostly haunting pictures.
Family drama at the center of it, yeah.
I think these were paired well.
I do too. Lots of similarities and lots of differences too, which we'll get into. But shall we go ahead and start with the classic here?
Yeah, why don't you give us your little opener, whatever that may be, for Poltergeist?
Well, as is always the case, I might need you to play along with me a little bit as we take this ride.
All right.
1980.
We never rehearsed this, just so everyone knows this is a thing that just happens live.
Into 1982's Poltergeist.
1982.
Directed by Tobe Hooper. Well, we'll get into it. With Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams and little Heather O'Rourke.
Williams.
I know. I'm wonderful.
Yeah.
She's like the best thing in this movie, but we'll get there.
So I'm going to talk about it later, yeah.
And cue that music.
All right.
Hi, Mike. James here from Century 666. So, I hear you're interested in one of our Chula Vista properties. Well, my boss said that you'd spoken to Steve Freeling. He's kind of our star realtor, but he's come down with a case of the flu and isn't available to help right now. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, honestly, between you and me, I think something's going on with his kids, but that's beside the point. But
Okay.
anyway, here at Chula Vista, we have a saying, the grass is greener on every side. So we've got some great new lots up for sale in this latest phase. So I hope you got a minute for me to tell you a little bit about the properties.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Great. So all the houses have been built recently and built to last. So I guess you could say they've got great bones due in part to their construction and location.
Sure.
And we've kept some choice parts of the natural landscaping, so you'll find an old tree or two in the lots. Just be sure to keep it trimmed and away from the windows. We've also got some gorgeous views as well. And look, although the mountains are nearby, don't worry about missing the big football game, all right? Because we get perfect television reception. Seriously, every channel comes in clear as day. Even the channels with static seem to have something going on. Draws the kids right in. Every house features spacious living quarters from 1,500 square feet and up. Living rooms with plenty of windows to let in that refreshing California breeze.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. Bedrooms that'll make you want to turn somersaults. And deceptively long hallways. Our kitchen areas. I know everybody likes a good kitchen. Our kitchen areas have plenty of room for a bustling family. With floors any child will love sliding across. And interesting, remarkably high ceilings in case you get that cleaning itch and you want to stack up all the chairs on the table. But by far, and I hear it all the time, one of our owners' favorite aspects is the ample closet space. Seriously, closets so big you could get lost in there for days. Seriously. They might just have to send in a team to come rescue you. Seriously.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Listen, I won't clown with you, though. The houses in Phase 1 were wired for 220, 221.
Whatever it takes.
Well, you understand, right?
Yeah,
so we had some issues with flickering lights, and there were some grounding issues as well. You might have heard the story about the woman who touched the handrail of her staircase and was blown clean across the room. Well, listen, rest assured, those issues, just like the rest of our old problems, are dead and buried and won't be resurfacing in Phase 4.
Okay, great.
Yeah, excellent.
That's great.
Our homes are also on lots that can accommodate additions and renovations if you so choose. Each lot has enough space to dig a sizable pool.
I was just going to ask if there was room for a pool.
Oh, absolutely. Large enough to accommodate 15, 20, even 25 bodies.
Oh,
that is a pool party you won't soon forget.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Now, listen, I gotta warn you though, families are snatching these homes up quick, and if you don't act now, there's a chance that the place you have your eye on will completely disappear by the next time you come looking. So, Mike, what do you say? Can I get the paperwork started on your spot in Chula Vista?
I gotta tell you, I am dead interested.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I'll send over the necessary paperwork and we'll get started right away.
Fantastic.
Welcome
Thanks.
to the community.
Oh, thank you.
Mike, what do you think of Poltergeist?
I fucking love Poltergeist.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Poltergeist is great. I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Oh.
Yeah, I was part of the reason it had a box office boom. I think I saw it 3 fucking times. I'm glad it was rated PG because
Isn't
had
that
it been
amazing?
R, I would have had to sneak in.
Yeah. It's amazing that this is a PG movie, though, considering some of the effects and the frightening moments and stuff. I know that Spielberg really pushed to get it knocked down because it was originally an R rating.
It was originally an R, yeah. And Spielberg and some of the others. I don't know if Toby Hooper was there at the time, but they went to the MPAA and pled their case. They said, look, there's no sex in it. There's hardly any swearing. The violence is fantastic, not necessarily violent violence. So, I mean, it kind of is.
It's hard to argue that the scene where the guy rips his face off shouldn't have gotten an R rating.
Such a great scene, though.
Do you know if they cut anything out to get it down to PG?
Not that I'm aware of, actually. I think they just bitched about it and said, please give us a PG movie because we're going to make a lot of money with this. Maybe I'll get you a spot in Jaws 3.
I'm pretty sure, too, the fact that Jaws 3, Jaws 3D. No, I'm pretty sure that the fact that it was PG-2 meant that when it went to HBO in the early days, because HBO didn't used to show R-rated movies before like 8 p.m. So I'm pretty sure Poltergeist would get shown in the middle of the day, which is how I first saw it when I was growing up. And this had one of those moments that just fucked my 6-year-old self right up.
I mean, you'd already seen The Omen.
I had already seen The Omen, but I have to tell you, the clown in this movie, that fucking clown in this movie really did it to me.
That fucking clown's freaky.
It's freaky, and it is a perfect jump scare.
It is.
When the little boy notices it's gone, and he looks over one side of the bed, and the clown's not there, and then he looks over the other side, and you see his hands creep down to the covers, and he pulls them up real quick, and there's no clown, and he breathes a sigh of relief, and the camera tilts back with him as he sits up, and they're...
Yeah. You know, they shot that part in reverse, where the arm was wrapping around his neck.
Oh. You know,
they shot it in reverse, pulled it off. And apparently the rig that was pulling it off was pulling too hard. I actually started to strangle him. And, yeah, Steven Spielberg kind of had to rush in and help because he saw there was like a legitimate thing happening with the kid.
Oh, my gosh.
Getting choked out by it. I mean, some people pay for that.
From a clown, too, which is like extra. That costs
How much
extra.
to be choked out by a clown?
There's the regular choking and then the clown choking.
I'd like to not get the makeup on my face, though, if that's okay.
I'm a gold member. That's included in my package, right? Oh, yeah. This movie is one of the best, and I have seen it I don't know how many times, and I love it every single time. It seems like it's gotten better as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
I think the effects, for the most part, really still stand up.
Totally.
The story is totally engaging. The family dynamic is wonderful.
Yeah.
Largely in part to Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams, who are fucking great in this movie.
Totally. I guess in the original script, they were both kind of dicks.
Really?
Yeah, like they didn't really like each other. They were kind of mean to each other. And I believe that between the rewrites and just the actors themselves, just the way they portrayed it, they came off as a very fun, loving couple. I mean, that whole thing where they're smoking dope in bed and he's doing like the, could I have been an Olympic diver? And he's like sucking his gut in before, after.
Yeah.
All that's great.
It's wonderful.
Great character building shit as he's bouncing up and down in the bed. And then when they're like cracking up and the little kid comes in and they're like, oh, yeah, sorry. No, we're good.
Yeah. You know, I think I saw this movie probably 8 times before I was at a certain age. And I was like, they're smoking pot. I'd never noticed it until I was probably in my mid-20s when I saw this. And I was like, hey, I know what that is.
And to think that this was 1982, it's not like everybody smoked pot.
No.
Right?
No, not at all.
It's certainly not legal.
Yeah. You certainly didn't smoke pot and read books about Ronald Reagan.
No. Yeah. Republicans smoking pot in the 80s?
What? No.
It was a different time.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg, it was a different time.
This movie starts out, too, with something that you don't get anymore, which is the national anthem playing when the TV station shuts down.
Because I always forget about that.
Yeah, TV stations would shut off at 12:30 or 1 in the morning, and they'd just play either static or the color bars or the slide of the TV station itself.
Those days are gone.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? God, when there were only like 4 to 6 channels, 2 independent channels, and like ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah, all just the networks and PBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they realized that insomniacs would buy shit, so they started playing infomercials for the Ron Popeil food dehydrator and Girls Gone Wild, and the party line commercials started flooding.
And everything went to shit.
Well, I certainly stayed up later.
Yeah, absolutely. Girls Gone what?
And another thing I realized watching it again is how cool it must have been in the movie theater.
Yeah.
The static from the TV and the strobe effect in a dark movie theater must have ratcheted up the tension. It's a great.
Can you imagine
sort of
the trigger warnings nowadays as you're getting ready to go into the theater? Or they would have to put some sort of disclaimer at the beginning of it. Like this ride will have flashing lights.
flashing lights, haze, clowns, ghosts, dead bodies.
Exactly.
JoBeth Williams panties.
This movie is packed. This movie's packed. And sometimes I'll watch a movie nowadays and I'll think, well, that was ridiculous. Like, it's just way too much. And then I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot in this movie.
Oh, yeah. And it gets to a certain point where it's just speeding towards the climax and unrelenting almost until the very, very end of this movie. Something else that I really appreciate is that this movie also, even though it's got legitimate scares in it and wonderful creep out moments and reveals, it never loses its sense of humor, ever.
No, it doesn't. It always has sort of a fun, cheeky feel to it.
Yeah.
And not because it's overly trying to do that. It's just all in little dialogue quips. Right?
Little quips, little human moments between the characters, and even up until the very last frame, you know, when they check into the Holiday Inn.
And push the TV out.
And push the TV out. And it's just, the story has made that moment funny. And it's a really well-crafted story. I mean, Spielberg gets the story credit and one of the screenplay credits on this. But let's talk about the sort of elephant in the room, because it's directed by Tobe Hooper. But this one has Steven Spielberg's fingerprints all over it.
Spielberg was not able to be the director of this because he had other things he was getting ready to do, one of them being E.T. And
wasn't he editing E.T. and this kind of at the same time?
Probably, because I want to say that I could be wrong, but I think E.T. came out the week after Poltergeist did.
I think you're right. You're right.
Because Poltergeist was like, #1 at the box office. And then E.T. came out and it was like, #1 at the box office forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, directed by Tobe Hooper. Steven Spielberg hired him to come and do it because, you know, he was a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He wanted somebody who was an adept horror director to come in and do it because he wanted this to be a horror film. But Spielberg, very strong presence on set, was always there. And there's a lot of rumors that have been floating around for the years that say that Steven's really the one that directed it.
Yeah.
From everything that I've heard, Toby did direct the movie, but Steven would alter things or make changes.
Sure.
Like Toby would set up a shot and say, yeah, man, so come down the stairs and make the thing on the side and put it on the right over here. And then Steven would go, let's put the camera here instead. And then he would just go, all right.
Yeah.
And he would call, you know, action and cut and all that. But Spielberg's fingerprints are all over this movie.
Totally. The only thing that smells more like Steven Spielberg than this movie is Mrs. Spielberg, I think. There's so many moments, and if we go through it, we'll call them out, where you have like just trademark Steven Spielberg touches that you see in like all his movies.
Totally.
I think about like the wide-eyed look of amazement that you see in just about every one of his movies. At some point, somebody is just sort of like slowly standing up, their eyes getting wider, and like that happens a bunch in this movie.
The ratcheting hallway zoom.
Sure, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, and also another thing that makes this movie great, and I mean, obviously, John Williams couldn't do the score because he's working on E.T. Jerry Goldsmith's score is fucking wonderful.
It is.
In this
it's
movie.
Fucking great.
It feels, in a way, you know how those Spielberg movies and those Williams scores just kind of go together so well all the time.
Yeah.
This Goldsmith score really fits this movie in much the same kind of way. So I'll bet that Spielberg had the same kind of relationship with Goldsmith during this whole process. Because
I'm sure.
It's creepy, you get the children's voices. It sounds a little bit like a children's piano being played at times, so it harkens to sort of this childlike thing, but it's also very
it's
creepy.
interesting that you brought up that you feel like they probably had a good connection, the two of them, because Goldsmith said, listen, whenever I do a score for a movie, generally only the director comes by and I talk to him. He said the only person that came by was Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
He never even met Tobe Hooper.
No shit. No shit. Well, again, there you have it. I know there's other rumors out there, too, of actors who have said Steven was the only one that directed them in scenes. But I've read some other things, too. Hooper was definitely involved in this movie.
Absolutely. He was there. He was involved. He was very upset when the movie came out. And on the poster, it said a Steven Spielberg production in big giant letters. And then down in the small print of the credits, it was directed by Tobe Hooper. He was mad because that came out with the trailer, right? The posters and the trailer, like the same weekend.
Yeah.
Plastered all over theaters. And Tobe Hooper was pissed off. And Steven was like, oh, shit, okay. So he wrote a letter to Daily Variety and said, I just want everyone to know that Tobe Hooper directed this movie. He was there the entire time. You know, I assisted and helped him whenever he needed it. But this is very much his picture. And that was his sort of like apology publicly to Tobe Hooper, who was visibly upset at the time.
I mean, does Spielberg's name appear before Tobe Hooper's in the opening credits?
That's a good point, and I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I think it might, but it's definitely much more present.
Oh, totally.
And I think these days most people just kind of regard it as another one of Steven Spielberg's movies.
Spielberg was totally hands-on even so much as he's the one that tore the flesh away from the skull.
Really?
Yeah, those are his hands.
I didn't know those are his hairy man knuckles doing that.
Craig Reardon, who was a makeup effects guy, I worked with Craig Reardon on a couple of different things. And one was Ghosts of Mars, a John Carpenter joint.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And Craig said he didn't want to hear it later because, like, the steak, right? You've got the steak.
Yes.
And the steak is crawling across the counter, which is a fantastic fucking scene right before the guy goes crazy and tears his face off.
I know. Can we just talk, though, that it's like 3 a.m. He's like, I'm going to go get a snack. Yeah. And then he goes and he pulls
starts with a chicken leg.
Porterhouse.
And then a porterhouse. like, I'm just going to fry this up real quick.
At really? 3 a.m. You can take like this giant, expensive cut of meat out of their fridge. Yeah. That guy got what he deserved.
Hey, anyway. sorry, everybody. I know you were planning on steak and eggs in the morning, but I had it at 3 a.m.
I got a little noshy while I was sitting there looking at the monitors.
I ate all the Triscuits as well.
Not the Triscuits, get out, you son of a bitch. You left the box, but you ate all the Triscuits. Didn't you, you son of a bitch?
Didn't you?
You ate all the Triscuits, but you left the box.
Oh, that's calling back to episode 4.
And also later on in this movie, one of my favorite lines when Craig T. Nelson is like, you moved the headstones, but you left the bodies, didn't you?
You left the bodies.
You son of a bitch. So Craig Reardon, think Craig Reardon.
So the steak crawling across, and the steak is pushing up all the stuff out.
Yeah,
out of the steak, right? Yeah, the meat explosion. And Craig had sculpted something and ran it and painted it all up, and it looked kind of pink and goopy and weird, and he was, going to shove it all up through the steak.
Yeah. Not exactly sure what the ghosts are doing right there. It's just weird, but okay.
Yeah. I don't know either.
They're just ruining your dinner, dick ghosts.
These ghosts are being the most obnoxious ghosts in film history. Like, you see a bookshelf or, some pages turn, a picture falls off a wall. No, these ghosts are exploding steaks. They're making you think that you're tearing your own face off. I mean, they are really going deep. These ghosts are fucking pissed off.
Yeah, they are.
Craig shows it to Tobe Hooper. Yeah, man, that's great. Love it. And then Steven Spielberg's like an hour later. What's that? Oh, that's the steak with the and Steven goes, No, I don't think so. It needs to look like steak. That doesn't look like steak. Oh, back to the drawing board, I guess. Now, sure, producer gets a big say in how things look and feel in a movie. That's why they're the producer. So Craig was like, I just didn't want to hear later, like, who the hell tore the flesh off that fucking face? That doesn't look real. Yeah. So he had Steven do it.
Oh, because he was right there. I'm sure he's
Absolutely.
probably more than happy to do it, too. It's a pretty gnarly effect.
Yeah, it's a very cool effect. I remember loving that when I was a kid. Like, so
sure.
shocking.
I mean, nowadays, when you look at it, the first puppet head, I remember thinking like, oh, that's a bad puppet head. But as that effect continues,
It gets better
It just
and better.
gets so crazy.
Yeah.
Tearing the chunks out and the
Yeah.
eyeball and all the stuff falling into the sink.
Yeah.
It's
Very,
really
very disturbing.
graphic effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I still love it. Yeah, sure, it looks a little hokey, but I still love it. It's a lot of gelatin. They're tearing gelatin away. So it's nice and it's soft, and he may have been pumping some like warm fluid or warm blood behind it to kind of help it move off of the sculpted skull. But yeah,
cool.
really fucking cool.
And this movie has a ton of great effects in it. And I like,
It does.
you know, I still like, I don't know how they do it exactly, but a lot of movies from the 80s have that. I don't know if they're like etching it on the plate or whatever they use for the orbs and all that kind of. Some of it's just animation, but some of it is a different sort of effect, like the ghostly skeletal dragon and stuff that appears on the
Yeah,
hallway.
those were like shot as plates and superimposed onto the image and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
I
that
still
was a big
think so.
giant puppet. The thing they called the Beast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the one that comes through the door.
Well, the skeleton head or the dragon-looking thing?
It's like a big skeleton head with the big arms.
Well,
You
one of
who are
them,
listening
Craig-
don't
Craig-
see me doing the big arms, but
Craig T. Nelson pulls the rope too soon, and a
Yeah.
giant skull comes out
Yes,
of the
yes.
closet. And then there's the one that Joe Beth Williams sees in the hallway.
yeah.
Are they both puppets?
I think the only one that's a puppet is the big giant skull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we go point by point on this, or at least start
Well, you know,
from the beginning?
we've already spent so much time. We can just quickly say the movie opens, the TV is in static land because it's after midnight or whatever, and the TV channel's off, but you're getting the errant noises of things coming through.
Some
and Carol
whispers.
Ann is up near the TV, and she feels some sort of presence.
Yeah.
And at one point, the presence comes out of the TV and shoots up into the wall of the house and leaves like a weird little mark on the wall. And that's when she says, "They're here."
One of the most iconic lines of the 1980s. honestly.
Absolutely. So the next day, there's the creepy little ghost moments where that's where we find that there's that spot on the kitchen floor that Carol Ann can slide through.
Let's talk about it for a
You hit
second.
all these moments in your opening, which I thought was great. And anyone that really knows the movie, listening to your opening, is going to catch all those little beats. It was good. That's why I was laughing so hard.
I dig that bit where after the spirits have come out of the TV, they're in the house somewhere. We haven't really seen them. And the chairs are stacking themselves. A great practical moment. I mean, talk about just some like fun, doing it for real.
And I'm pretty sure that was camera turn away.
Yes.
Grips quickly put this built thing on the table, step
Yes.
back, camera turn back and see it.
And how good is it? How
So
good is it?
great.
It's so
Fucking
simple,
great.
but it's so effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the mom has been like, you guys got to push the chairs back underneath the table. And then she turns and goes under the sink to get, I don't know, some pledge or something. And by the time she turns back, which is only a few seconds later, all of the chairs are stacked on top of each other on the table. And she kind of shouts and looks at Carol Ann and is like, the TV people?
Yeah.
Carol Ann's like,
TV
"Yeah,
people.
Yeah.
She's all excited.
Yeah.
Boy, Heather O'Rourke was so excited to be in this movie.
Oh, she's delightful. Little
Yeah.
angelic face. Glaring off the strobe of the TV, that like pale skin and gold
Yeah.
hair. Like she
She
has
was
that
5. She was 5 when she was
angelic
cast.
quality to her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I also appreciate about this moment is like the mom is kind of jazzed. Jo Beth Williams is she's freaked out, but she's
Yeah.
not like running out of the house. And then when
No.
Craig T. Nelson comes home later, she's like, "Honey, I want you to remember back when we were first dating, when you had an open mind. I gotta get you right back here." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And she shows him the chair slide across, and then she puts Carol Ann down there, and he's just like, "What the fuck is going on?" But I like that they're not just like completely freaking out right away.
Yeah, but
She's
they go to
acting-
talk to the neighbor. Like to see if anything weird's going on. And they're standing out, and the mosquitoes are just all over them, and they're just saying something and then just smacking themselves in the face. It's pretty comical, that whole bit.
It's a
and for
funny
some
scene.
reason, I don't even really know why, but the neighbor's delivery of the line when they're trying to ask him, like, does anything ever strange ever happen? Any weird occurrences? And he's like, no, everything's fine. And then I can't remember if it's her or Craig that makes some sort of comment about the mosquitoes eating them alive there. And he goes, they haven't bothered me. Or my family. Yeah. And he looks at his boy and goes, Skeeter ever suck on you, son? And the kid goes, I don't know, Dad. And he goes, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But for some dumb reason, we would say that all the time. Like at K&B when I worked there for like 20 fucking years, it was just like a line. Someone would just go, look at you and go, Skeeter ever suck on you, son? And the answer was always, I don't know, Dad. And I don't know, Dad became the answer to almost anything. So somebody would say, are you done with that thing yet? I don't know, Dad. Someone else nearby might go, he says he doesn't know.
Yeah, I wondered watching that scene this time if they didn't just get the direction like, okay, this time let's do a take and just pretend like you're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And you're just trying to get these answers out of your neighbors to see if anything weird's going on.
That could be like a Spielberg directed moment.
And because they're giggling through the whole thing. I was
like they're having
another
fun
joint before they went over there. And now they're just like, there was a moment too just before that when the canary died. Which is like a great little metaphor.
Heather Rourke's moment for that.
Yes. Yeah. And Jo Beth Williams looks like she's going to flush it down the toilet. I'm like, you don't flush a canary down the toilet.
No, that's a bad idea. That is a bad idea.
But two things I love about that is that one, it is literally like the canary in the coal mine. The first thing that happens is the bird dies. And then they have a little funeral for it, put it in the cigar box, and Heather O'Rourke's like, for when he's hungry, and when he's cold, and when he's lonely. What an angel.
Yeah.
And they put the cigar box in there, and then later when they're digging the pool, they just dig that part right up.
Yeah, you see that just flip over.
And what's great is it's like, oh yeah, that's the fucking movie right there. You know what I mean? You have like no respect for the things that are buried.
Yeah, that's true.
Ground.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until this time.
I do love that line that Carol Ann, Heather O'Rourke, delivers right as soon as they put the soil over the box after she's all sad. She looks at her mom and says, can I get a goldfish now? Like all excited. Like, move on to step 2.
Cut to goldfish.
Yeah.
We just cut to goldfish, and she's just shaking all the
and
food.
And she's overfeeding them, and they're going to be floating up in the morning.
Yeah. Did you also notice the pool construction team, the contractors that are out there? One of them is Billy from Predator.
Yes.
Out there.
Yes.
He's hitting on the oldest kid, the teenage daughter.
She's fucking 16. She's 16 in the movie. I mean, the actress is 21. But
Mom's looking out the window, seeing her 16-year-old daughter get catcalled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By some fucking 30-year-old construction dude.
I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Just like, Billy, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Billy?
Billy,
stop hitting on the girl. She's not of age yet.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Mom's watching from the window and she sees her kid just flip them off and she's like, that's it. I'm just like, wow, it was a different time.
I totally thought the same thing. I wrote down, Billy is creepy. How old is she? It was a different time.
What are you doing, Billy? Billy,
get out of there.
You're trying to get to her chopper.
That's statutory rape.
She's not even legal, Billy.
Billy, don't be a predator.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
To catch a predator. Nice. It looked like a simple suburban house. Billy, Chris Hansen's waiting around the corner.
But it is shortly after they have buried the bird and gotten the goldfish. I think it's that night when shit starts
when she gets sucked into the TV.
Really go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the storm hits the house and the tree breaks through the window, a terrifying tree, and grabs the little boy out of bed, and the tree's going to devour him, and they're running out to save the boy, and then the closet opens up and is sucking Carol Ann and all the stuff that's a great effect too.
Yeah.
Like just her hanging on to the headboard as things are kind of like bending and twisting. And she's screaming and everything's going into the closet.
Great closet space, as you said.
End up saving the boy. And then, where's Carol Ann? Carol Ann! They go running in and they're looking through all the parts of the house and they get up to that room and see that the blanket is covering a body and they start to cry like, oh no, and they pull the blanket away and it's that fucking clown.
That fucking clown.
The setup on that fucking clown is so good too, because it might even be that night where like the boy sees it sitting in that chair and he takes his Chewbacca jacket and tosses it over it like, I'm safe. Because later on, he'll take that fucking Chewbacca jacket and miss. And I just remember being 5 or 6 years old thinking, oh no, you missed with the fucking Chewbacca jacket. That is not good.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, where do I get a jacket like that?
Yeah, sweet satin jacket with a screaming Chewie on the back.
Yeah. That kid loved Star Wars. There was Star Wars shit all over that room.
Hell
Perfect for the fucking time.
Listen, that bedroom was a straight to the vein hit of nostalgia. It's got the fucking Star Wars sheets and the figures. You got the actual Star Wars poster with the creases just scotch taped up behind his bed. He had an Alien poster in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
That kid had it going on. We would have been friends for sure.
Totally. So yeah, she disappeared. She's sucked into the house, and then they call in experts.
Yeah, because they discover when they're looking for Carol Ann, Robbie hears her calling from the TV set. And that's a great shot of the mom comes in because Robbie's screaming. She's like, what is it? And he's like, Carol Ann. And it's just the static of the TV and the two of them kind of silhouetted in before they hear it and then just slowly turn at the fucking TV and realize somehow she's in there. Whoa. Great shit.
What? No.
Yes. She's in the TV, Mark.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. So Dad has to go to Venkman, Stantz, and Spengler, parapsychologists.
Yeah.
A staple
that would
of
have been awesome.
80s movies. Did colleges have that department? Was that like a thing?
I'm not sure. They should. They should nowadays, right?
Now, I think nowadays our conspiracy theorists are a lot more volatile. So they invite the team of parapsychologists to the house, and there's that great moment where one of them's like, yeah, I once recorded a matchbox car rolling across the ground. It took 7 hours, but I got it on time lapse. And Craig G. Nelson is like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And he opens the door and, like, all the shit is going fucking haywire. Right. It's just, like, floating around the room. And they're all like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it's during that sequence, or right after that sequence, I think what has become my favorite part of this whole movie is when they come down to the living room and they turn on the TV and they're like, she comes through best on this channel. Don't ask us why.
Yeah.
And she starts calling to Carol Ann. Carol Ann, can you hear us? Can you say hi, Daddy? And you just hear her voice like, hi, Daddy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hi, Mommy. And
It's a good emotional family moment.
Holy shit. And especially when Joe Beth Williams is going up the stairs, and then there's like the gust of wind, like whew, blows right through her and blows her hair back, and she's like, oh my God, she just ran through me. I felt her run through me. I smell her on my clothes, and she's just getting so emotional.
Yeah.
That's become my favorite moment in this whole movie. I mean, it's a movie with great moments, great effects, but just the actor bringing it, and she's like going over to her husband. She's like, smell her. I can smell her on my clothes. And they're both sort of start to cry.
Yeah, they're both getting emotional.
Oh, my God. It's so good. And again, that's what makes this movie, for me, like a nearly flawless classic. It's the family dynamic, and it is those actors. Yeah, it's pretty soon the parapsychologists are like, well, we need to bring in an expert. So they bring in Zelda Rubinstein.
Zelda.
Yeah, I think... Her name is Tangina Barons in this, I think.
Yeah. It's quite a name.
I wrote them both down, and I was like, which one is the character name and which one is her actual name?
Zelda Barons.
And I don't know that I caught it last time, but Craig T. Nelson, Steve, the dad, starts like making Munchkin jokes and shit. And I was like, that seems oddly out of place in this moment right now. Why would you do
This
that?
woman is here to try and
you.
help you. Yeah, and you're just kind of ripping on the fact that she's height challenged.
And she's fucking great. She's great in this.
awesome.
She gives that little monologue about like,
The spirits are attracted to Carol Ann. She's distracting them from the light. But there is another presence in there with her as well.
a darker presence.
yes.
It's jealous of her.
Does she call it the beast?
Yeah, she's like,
To Carol Ann, it's just another child. But to us, it is the beast.
fuck. And she ends it with like,
Let's go get your daughter.
Yeah, and you're just like, yes!
fuck yeah.
Fucking popcorn's popping out of my bucket as I'm like, yeah!
Hell yeah. And they-
14-year-old Mike McCarty is 10 minutes away from seeing Jo Beth Williams in her pants.
They've already established that the shit comes out of the ceiling in the living room.
yeah.
And so they hocus pocus figure it out. Like, we'll go through the closet and we'll come out there. I love this
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
They throw the tennis balls, and the tennis balls come down. They establish all the things, and then Jo Beth Williams puts the rope on and goes into the fucking ether. The closet's all glowing. The portal to the other world.
I don't
is
know that I
flashing.
would do this.
I don't doubt it for a second. In this, that character.
Would you do it? Would you, though?
Would I do it if it was my daughter in there? Fuck yes,
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
And I like in that moment too, they kind of debate because the dad's like, I'll go. And she's like, you're the only one who's strong enough to hold on to the rope.
Yeah.
They're awesome pair.
Holding on to the rope is man's work.
It is. And he very nearly fucks it up. You're pulling too soon, Steven. Yeah. He pulls the giant skull out of there.
Yeah.
But Jo Beth Williams comes through the ceiling with the daughter covered in ectoplasm, get him into the tub, and then
So good.
they wake up, and little Heather O'Rourke wakes up too, like,
Hi, Daddy.
fucking great.
It
Great
is great.
stuff. That whole
is great.
sequence is wonderful. Truly, that could have been the climax to the movie, and I would have been totally satisfied.
I mean, it kind of is.
It is, but it's not done yet because it's still got some final fucking scares for you.
Time for them to move out.
Yes. And I love it. They're like, fuck it, we're out of here.
And what's his name is coming by because he doesn't want him to leave because
Sure.
Greg is his best salesman or his best man he's got out there.
Yeah, the boss, Mr. Teague, who's essentially playing the mayor's role from Jaws. Like,
That's
it's
totally the mayor from Jaws.
Right.
These beaches will stay open.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to sell these homes.
Yes. Yes. The same sort of character. But yeah, Mom is going to have a bath, and she's like, well, you kids, you just have a good time now. Calgon's going to take me away. And then, gets out of the bath, and you get that great spinning bedroom shot where, you get to see her panties. She's just flopping on the ceiling.
Yeah, the house goes crazy. This is a great shot. It's that rotating room, right? It's a set and it rotates, and she just flops and rolls with the set as it rotates, and the cameraman is locked in a position. So it's like a big spinning wheel, essentially, except it's square.
Yeah. There's a behind-the-scenes documentary or short. It's only about 8 or 9 minutes long on Poltergeist, and there's a wonderful shot of this apparatus. Like, you can see it in motion, and it is cool. I think do they have to strap the cameraman in?
Yes, the cameraman was strapped in.
As it rotates around. Good stuff.
It is very cool. And she got fucked up in that thing, too.
Did she?
Because as it's rolling, when it gets to the popcorn ceiling, she's dragging and scraping and bumping, and by the 20th time, she's pretty fucking beat up.
Yeah.
With scrapes and scuffs and stuff.
Popcorn ceilings.
Yeah.
That's something that we can leave behind forever.
It's not something you want to crawl across.
Nobody wants a fucking popcorn ceiling.
I know. Whose idea was that?
Terrible. But this is
Thank
also
you, 80s.
This is also the moment you get that fucking clown. That horrible clown moment that fucked me up as a little kid.
That's when the clown really becomes fucked up.
And the closet portal now, the fucking anus is full gape on that thing.
Oh,
it is
man.
just open wide and trying to swallow the kid's hole.
That is a Pornhub search.
Holy smoke.
Show me blondes with the poltergeist closet.
The old poltergeist closet. Swallow your hole, man. I'll swallow your hole. I'll swallow your hole.
Swallow this.
Don't Google it. Yeah, I love it. You know, Dad was working late so he could tell the boss to shove it, and he comes back to his house, and it's just like fucking the Queen tribute act is in his living room, just like nothing but flashing lights and fucking screams and
everything
banging
is
around.
Fucking nuts. Yeah. That's when we get the real skeletons.
Oh, yes.
That were used by the props department.
Yeah, as Joe Beth is trying to get to her kids, she slides into the pool and caskets are popping up. Yeah, real skeletons.
Some real skeletons. Not all, some. Some are obviously sculptures and, built over fake skeletons. But some of them were apparently real that had some fabrication done on top of it. At the time, you could buy cheap skeletons from like India or China and use them for generally medical purposes, right?
You'd buy cheap skeletons from India or China, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we got too many people. What are we going to do with all these bones? Sell them to Hollywood, I guess. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think they're mostly for the medical community, or for colleges or something like that.
Sure.
Where they're doing cadaver work as well. So, yeah, you can just buy one if you need it.
Just like you can buy dead birds.
Yeah.
Or monkey shines. You need a dead parakeet for 10? I can make that happen.
You need a 23-year-old male skeleton? I'll get it for you by 3 o'clock.
I got a guy in China that can make that happen within the next couple of days.
You don't mind paying extra for shipping. What's the tariff on a skeleton these days? It's terroriff.
Whoa. Oof.
You're welcome.
Woof. Woof. My God.
That was about the worst.
Yeah, but real corpses, real skeletons popping out of there.
Saying real corpse is a little much, but a dried old real skeleton that you fabricate stuff on top of, sure. Yes, did happen, supposedly. Also on the sequel, real skeletons. Like they didn't learn the first time, because let's talk for a minute about the curse of Poltergeist.
Oh, okay.
Now, we spent a lot of time on The Omen talking about the curse. Now, The Omen's got legit curse stuff going on. People struck by lightning.
Multiple people struck by lightning.
Yeah, planes struck by lightning. People almost being struck by lightning. Guy being eaten by a lion or a tiger, depending on which news source you listen to.
Decapitations.
Decapitations. Yeah. The pilot of the plane crashing into his own family.
Yeah.
In the car.
Wild.
The chartered plane that Gregory Peck was going to... All that stuff. Listen to our Omen episode. That's all in there. But... the curse of Poltergeist, as people say. Now, Dominic Dunn, the actress that plays the young daughter, she was 21.
She plays the teenage daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was playing 16. She was 21-year-old actress. Dominique Dunn. Her father is Dominic Dunn, who is an actor and a producer, and her brother is Griffin Dunn.
Oh.
From...
wow. Really? American Werewolf
from
in London. And
American Werewolf in London.
Things. Sure.
And plenty of things, yeah. So... comes from a Hollywood family.
Sure.
When this movie came out, big success, she had a boyfriend, physically abusive, mentally abusive shithead. She broke up with him. She's working on V, right?
Oh, sure.
Poltergeist has been a big hit. The soundtrack is out. The soundtrack, everyone's loving it. It's being talked about because it's still a huge thing. It made $140 million worldwide. It cost $7 million.
Damn.
It made, I want to say, $10 million opening weekend. So it already beat its budget.
Crushed it.
Opening weekend. even though it was shut down by fucking E.T. a week later. Thanks, Steven Spielberg, for crippling your own film with another film of yours. He owned that summer.
Sure,
he fucking owned that summer.
But hey, listen, you're talking about Spielberg in the fucking heyday right now.
In the heyday.
Like absolutely striking gold. No wonder Toby Hooper would just take a step back. This guy's done fucking Close Encounters, Raiders.
Exactly.
He's in the middle of E.T., Poltergeist. Jaws is already in the fucking books for years now. Like this, he's just made hit after hit after hit.
Yeah. So she is at her place in West Hollywood. This is after it's come out. It's been a big success. That was really her first big feature, was that movie. And she kind of became like a little star. Everyone that was in that movie was talked about.
Sure.
Right? So she's dating this douchebag. He's physically and mentally abusive. She breaks up with him. She's at her house in West Hollywood, and she is running lines with David Packer, who is another actor, and they are going to be in V together.
Sure.
The TV miniseries V.
Sure.
Her ex-boyfriend shows up. He was a sous chef at a restaurant called La Maison, or Ma Maison, which is in West Hollywood. And he shows up with a cake that he's made her, that he has basically sculpted what looks like her face out of chocolate on top of the cake to try and impress her. Please take me back. Please take me back.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not a douchebag. I'm sorry. She doesn't want to talk to him. She's talking to him through the shut door. And he's begging her to come outside. Meanwhile, her acting partner is in the living room. And she's like, I'm going to go outside and talk to him for a minute. You just stay here. And he's like, okay, fine. She goes outside to talk to douchebag. And what is douchebag's name?
Don't worry about it.
John Sweeney, maybe? Yeah. Well, you should know, because fuck that guy.
Sure.
Because he's free today. He's fucking free today. He's not in fucking jail, that piece of shit.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. No, let me finish the story. Yeah. He has her come outside so he can plead with her, please come back, or whatever the fuck he's fucking saying to her. And Packer is inside waiting for her to come back in. While he's waiting, he hears them arguing. And he's like, well, I don't really want to hear them argue. So he puts on the Poltergeist soundtrack on vinyl, which she has in her room. He's listening to the fucking Poltergeist soundtrack while she's outside having a scuffle with her ex.
Wow.
And he hears it start to get kind of heated. And he decides to call the police rather than just go outside and say, hey, douchebag, fuck off.
Yeah, come on. What's going on? Take a step back. Yeah.
Yeah. He calls the police. This is 1982. The number he calls, they go, well, that's not our jurisdiction.
Oh, boy.
You got to call so-and-so.
Sure.
I mean, nowadays you dial 911,
but
and
there is no fucking 911 back in 1982. Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever the fuck it is, it's just different, right? So the guy's like, that's not our jurisdiction. You should just man up and go out there. Well, he doesn't. He instead calls a friend. And he's like, oh, what should I? And a friend's like, go out there. So he goes out the back door and sees her in the driveway with douchebag on top of her, fucking choking her.
Choking her to death. Oh my God.
And I don't know if he goes up to like push him off or stop him or whatever, but douchebag gets off of her and leaves her alone. But she's already unconscious. So an ambulance is called. The ambulance shows up. The sheriffs show up. And immediately the guy lays down next to her fucking body and puts like his hands behind his head. And they arrest him.
Gross.
And they take him away. And they take her away in an ambulance. And she is on life support for 4 days in a fucking coma when her parents decide to pull the plug.
Wow.
And this was the night before Halloween, 1982. This was Devil's Night when it happened.
God, so only about, 6 months, maybe 5 months after the movie had come out.
After the movie came out and was a huge success, yeah. So she passes away 4 days later. The guy goes to court, obviously. He's guilty. The judge gives him 6 years. That's it. He's out in 2.5 years on parole.
How the fuck did that happen?
2.5 fucking years. Now the father, Dominic Dunn, furious at this fucking judge.
Yeah.
He said, I made it my job to make sure that judge got his life fucking ruined. Just did everything he could. He said that judge went from a superior court judge to a regular judge to a traffic judge to a no fucking judge. But can you imagine? First of all, can you imagine running lines with someone and
there's
then
so
hearing a
much
scuffle outside? There's this
so much
whole
that's
story
fucked
is
up.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the guy went to her house and then ended up. You don't accidentally choke someone
No.
into a coma. Like it's not
Yeah.
like something
I don't know
misfired
if
or you slipped or something like that. You're on the driveway choking her into unconsciousness. That's the intent
I haven't
to
read
kill her.
any court transcriptions or anything, so I don't know what he pled or what he said happened. But I mean, he was guilty. He obviously fucking did it. He was arrested. Did not do much time. Apparently lives in California.
Wow.
If you're a listener, why don't you write us an email?
Explain yourself, sir.
You fucking piece of shit.
That's certainly not the end of the curse, though, as
No,
people talk
no.
about it, because she's not the only one, right? Of course, famously.
No. Famously,
Heather
O'Rourke. However, listen, The Omen had a curse or had a lot of stuff happen during the time of the making of the movie. Right? And yeah, all the cast members of Poltergeist did have strange things happen to them. Jo Beth Williams, the places she was staying, you know, she would leave in the morning and the pictures are straight and come back at night and they're all crooked. And then she would straighten them all and leave in the morning and come back at night and they're all crooked again. You know, maybe she just had a shitty maid. I don't know.
Somebody hung them like just off center. So it would like slowly move.
Craig T. Nelson claimed to feel some strange disturbances at one point. Dominique Dunn, one of her bookshelves, like full of books, fell over and the books like scattered across the floor. I mean, all of these things could kind of just be like...
Nobody's getting struck by lightning. It's
Nobody's
like
getting fucking struck
Omen.
by lightning.
The Omen one is crazy.
No.
This is all just like a...
But here's what's happening. You got a bunch of actors. They're together. They're on a movie set. They're doing a thing that's paranormal. There's a ton of special effects and lighting and smoke. And it's long days. And they're probably frayed nerves. And they're looking for reasons to be jumpy and think that something paranormal is happening. Oh, real skeletons. What do you mean real skeletons?
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of builds.
We got them on discount from India.
Yeah, I don't know if you know. It's how you get them these days. And then, you know, you get to the second movie and the guy that plays the old man. Well, the guy that played the old man is already terminally ill when he starts shooting that movie.
Oh, really? Oh,
he knows he is going to die. Everybody knows he is going to die. And Will Sampson, who played the tribal shaman in that movie, died, I want to say like a year after, but it was complications of heart surgery.
Yeah.
So these don't feel like curse things to me. Now, Heather O'Rourke was a sad thing because at the end of 2, she was starting to feel sick. And then, you know, by the time they get around to making the third movie, which nobody really wanted to make except the fucking producers.
Sure.
Frank, we got to get another one of those ghost pictures going.
Yeah. No, it's a
None of the
franchise.
cast came back except for Carol Ann. She's the first one they landed, and she's so young and excited to be a part of it, and she just wants to have something to do with it. But they had diagnosed her with potential of having Crohn's disease before the third movie started. So they've got her on like special diets, but they're still trying to fully diagnose the problem. And yeah, she did end up getting sick and dying right before they finished the movie. Yeah. So for Poltergeist 3, they had to change the ending of the movie and use a double. That movie's a shit show, by the way. You shouldn't even.
I don't
no
think I've seen 3. I saw 2 a long time ago.
2's got a couple of good moments, but it's not as good as this movie is fucking baller.
Yeah,
right.
It is King Fancy.
It is fucking King Fancy for sure. In fact, what are we gonna vote this with?
TV sets.
Oh yeah. How many UHF channels?
Yeah. How many static channels?
Yeah.
This is a fucking 10 for me.
Yeah?
Absolutely King Fancy. I wrote down plenty of things that are good, bad, question mark, and I said maybe Dad's skepticism at Tangina when she comes in, because he doesn't just make Munchkin jokes. He's like, I don't know if this lady can help us. And I think, like, motherfucker, after you have seen what you have seen, you should be on board for anybody's fucking hocus pocus. Like, sure.
Absolutely.
But no, I think this movie, I think the effects are still pretty great. I think the performances are wonderful. It's a movie I never get tired of seeing. It's a movie I love to reintroduce to people. If you haven't seen Poltergeist in like 20 or 30 years, you gotta watch it again. It's just a flawless
100%.
story to me. I love it. I absolutely adore it. It's a 10 for me.
It's close to a 10. It's a 9 for me.
Oh, okay.
The only reason, like Alien is a 10.
Sure.
The Thing is a 10. This isn't quite that perfect for me. Those are perfect organism films. This one is not quite as perfect, but I still love it.
Yeah.
So 9. 9 is certainly not a shutdown of it.
This one is perfect to me, and what I would argue against those two movies is this movie has way more heart to it than those movies do. And this movie has more humor to it than those movies do. And I adore it. I absolutely
And this
adore
movie was directed by Toby Hooper. Wink.
Yeah. You know who
nudge.
did not like this movie, though?
Are you going to fucking tell me Gene Siskel didn't like this movie?
Well, you will have to go and watch the review because Roger Ebert thought that it was silly and the plan that they had didn't make any sense, but it was fine as an entertainment ghost story. But
fuck off.
Gene Siskel thought it was even worse than that, and Ebert was like,
really?
Yeah, Ebert was like, well, yeah, but it has a lot of great special effects. And then watch the video. Gene Siskel says something like, "You're always afraid to criticize the special effects, but these special effects, anybody can do it."
Really?
He says that.
You fuck nut.
Fuck you, Gene Siskel, Titan of the industry.
Titan of the industry.
Fuck you, though. You can watch the review on YouTube.
Wow.
And he literally says, these special effects, anybody can do it.
Oh, my God. For those of you who haven't listened to every episode, in our first few episodes, we roast Gene Siskel, Titan of the industry, because he disliked a lot of films that we fucking love.
Yeah.
Like Friday the 13th.
But they both
like
rag on this movie. And they talk about, they're like,
what the fuck?
That plan doesn't make any sense. And I think that's a pretty straightforward plan of like, we go through the closet, we come through the living room ceiling.
You've already figured out that tennis ball can do it.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go through with a human?
And you see the behind the scenes shit with the giant rotating living room and the flesh being pulled from the face.
F you, Gene Siskel.
Yeah, truly. Way off base.
Suck it. Should we go to the lobby?
Yeah, let's head to
let's
the lobby.
Let's go to the lobby and get to the second film.
Talk about presents.
We're going to open presents.
Let's go into the lobby and then we'll talk about it.
All right.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the diva to get ourselves a treat.
Especially things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And we are back.
Yes.
Anything spook you out in the lobby?
I mean, well, we had to cut it because it's too fucking long. But I told quite a ghost story about living in my house. And that is a pretty big chunk of Patreon content. And you're only going to get that at the Patreon.
Well, that's all I was thinking about when I was getting my popcorn. That is a good ghost story. But yes, you have to join our Patreon if you want to hear that one.
People try and accuse me of making that shit up, but I have witnesses for almost every single fucking piece of it. So that is the best part.
No, it's good. Everybody likes a good ghost story. And it'll only cost you, what, like a couple of bucks a month?
I mean,
to join in. And that's just one story. There's a lot of shit that we have put on our Patreon at this point.
The Cursed Ring is a good story. That's another one.
Oh, good stories, videos, fake trailers.
The fact that you don't have VD.
Yes, that's always I revisit that one often just to remind myself. I don't have VD. I did have Jock Itch once. That was also a good story on there.
The bug talk from the wreck episode, that's in
Talking
there.
about Toby Hooper in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Some good Toby Hooper stories.
Toby Hooper stories, music videos.
Yeah.
Music videos. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
the cup of our content runneth over.
Yeah.
You just got to join our Patreon. Where can they find it?
We are the whole damn thing at patreon.com. There's a link in the show notes. Go ahead and click on that. You'll find it. And join at the $1, $2, or $4 level. Every level gets you into the Discord, but the $4 level gets you into the secret rooms in the Discord where we do like the live watch-alongs. Like we did Zombie. That was a fun live watch-along. And this year we are doing the summer of 1981. We have put 15 movie options in the Discord and had our Discord patrons vote on it. And the top 4, we're going to watch one a month. We're going to watch them live with the fans and then do like a mini show afterwards where we just sort of talk about it and give our review. And that is only for Patreon people.
And like Mike said, you join the Patreon, you get an invite to the Discord. We got a fucking great community happening there. A lot of talk about horror movies and just about everything else. Some off-topic stuff, but everybody seems to be cool. Everybody's playing nicely with each other, which is such a rare thing on the internet.
There's a lot of comedy in there. Lots of laughing. There's
writers exchanging book ideas, and everybody's just having a lot of fun. So
it's good. It's great.
Join us.
And it's getting better
Patreon.com.
all the time as people slowly join and they find out about it. You know, we are slowly building a thing here that we're both very proud of and having a great time with.
And also, wherever you're listening, please like, subscribe, ring that bell, write us a review if you can. It all helps the algorithm and brings even more cool people to our door.
You know you like the show. Just say, I like the show. Send us a review. You know what? Tell you what. Right now, I am going to do a contest. Are you ready for this? Let's do a contest.
Ooh, okay.
Write a review to the show. Take a screenshot of that review and email it to us at thewholedamnthing13@gmail.com. Screenshot your review and send it to us. We will compile the list of whoever these people are, and we will put everybody's name into a bowl, and let's give a free t-shirt to 2 people.
Sounds great. 2
like
free
that?
t-shirts.
We'll send you a head to tail, the whole damn thing t-shirt. Anyway, we should move on because we have been talking a lot about stuff tonight and about ghosts and everything. So,
oh man, and the skunk is back in my house.
Oh.
Before we get into presents here in a second, a waft of fresh tang has suffused the room now and made its way over to my nose. That's fresh skunk. That's fresh skunk. Well, that's good stuff.
Sorry to hear.
You could say that it has made its presence known. I can't see it, but I know it's here. So on that note, Mike, why don't you tell us about presents?
Presents from earlier this year came out in January 2025. Listen, Frank, Steven's got an idea. I'm producer.
I know just who you are. Chomping on your cigar.
I'm on the phone chomping on a cigar.
Man
Listen,
knuckles.
Frank.
Nice pinky ring.
Steven's got an idea. No, not Spielberg, the other Berg. Yeah, Soderbergh. He wants to do a haunted house picture. Something about a cameraman who dies and comes back, living in some broad's home. He wanders around the house with big sweeping camera motions. Apparently he has a presence in the place he's currently staying in. Came up with the idea. Yeah, he wrote like 10 pages or something. I don't know, maybe he watched the others when he was there. I don't know. I reached out to David Kep. He owes me a favor. I told him he can redeem Jurassic Park from that shit show pet raptor thing it became.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, he's going to write it. Uh-huh. That's right. Now, we're looking at casting. No, it's a tiny cast. One location. Yeah. No, we need a hot mom to start. No, not her. She'd want too much. No, not her. She's got that weird agent. Maybe. Now, what I was thinking was Lucy Liu. No, she's not going to be wearing that bondage outfit from Payback. No, I think that's in Mel Gibson's closet. Now, she's more of a regular mom. She doesn't really give a crap about her daughter or something. I don't know. He says he can shoot it in 11 days. Yeah, we'll probably use my sister's place in Jersey. No, he's going to be the cameraman. Going to run around in slippers or something. I don't know what that means either.
Yeah.
No expensive camera package. Maybe he's just going to use an iPhone like he did with that Unsane thing. I don't know. Effects? No, don't worry about it. The effects budget's going to be tiny. All we're going to do is fly some books around the room and shit. He says he needs a budget of $2 million. That's what I said. He told me he wasn't kidding. We'll just use the catering budget from that comic book thing. Yeah. We'll give him sandwiches one day or something. Tell him the truck broke down on the way to set. No one really gives a crap about those anymore anyway. No, not the food. Everybody loves the food. I'm talking crafty. You have good crafty, you got a fat, happy crew. Yeah. He thinks if we label it as the scariest film of all time, we can make 1.7 opening weekend. Huh? Character arc? No, don't worry about it. I'm not sure if it matters. How many subplots? That doesn't matter either. Listen, that's not the kind of picture we're making. None of them is going to go anywhere anyway. All right, fine. Yeah, I'll tell him it's a green light. Great, Frank. I'll talk to you later. Presents. What did you think of Presents, James?
Presents is impressive for a lot of reasons. But unless you are a real film nerd or like a budding DP yourself, or you're like a huge Soderbergh fan, which, listen, no director working has put together a more diverse body of work than Steven Soderbergh. Like from Sex Lies and Videotape to Out of Sight and Ocean's 11 to fucking Traffic and Magic Mike and then Unsane and all those. Mike. Yeah, well, listen, I'm just saying, like, the variety of shit he has put together is fucking crazy. And he's
more diverse than a Benetton ad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's very good. Unless you are really into that, I'm not sure there's a lot to recommend about this movie. Like, it is impressive, but it's also kind of boring. As far as ghost stories go, we just went from one of my all-time favorites.
A baller of a ghost story that everything happens in.
Yeah, and this one is, I would hesitate to even call it a horror movie. It's more of a supernatural mystery.
Supernatural family drama.
Yeah. Yeah. I went on a journey with this movie where about 10 minutes into it, I thought, oh, Christ, how long am I going to be able to watch this? And then
I thought the same thing.
It did actually hook me eventually. And there are a couple of twists in there. I thought that's clever. But really, I believe that unless you're like a film nerd or like somebody who's really into breaking down the way that things are shot and the equipment they use to shoot them with, this movie is really going to fall through the cracks. You know?
Yeah.
No one's really going to remember this movie 10 years from now. Except somebody who'd be like, you know, like Marty Scorsese someday be like, you go over to his house, he'd be like, did you ever see Presents? You know, like, it'd be like something like, like a super nerdy film buff would take you through and try and convince you why this movie is great.
You know, it was the first use of the Sony AIX mirror camera.
Look, it is a neat camera. It's a neat trick. Like, I know that Soderbergh, you joked that he wore slippers, right? Because he is his own cameraman.
He was exactly.
And there's some funny things about it. Like, he is the director, but also in this way, because the story is told through the point of view of the presence, right? The ghost that is in this house.
And that's not a spoiler. That's the whole point of the movie.
Sure. And he had to essentially be that character. And I read articles where he said sometimes there'd be long takes and he would screw things up because in his director's brain, he would know what is coming next and where he needed the camera to be, but he would anticipate it. And so he would kind of ruin the take, because this ghost is not your typical ghost that you have in ghost stories. You know, they're always kind of omniscient. They have that unfinished business, and they're leaving clues and little mysteries along the way, so that your protagonist can figure out like what the ghost wants and where it's leading them, and you know.
And there's a little bit of that in this movie, but
this ghost really is kind of learning as it is going. You know what I mean?
It's almost like learning how to be a ghost.
Yeah, in some ways. But when Soderbergh was behind the camera, he said sometimes he would blow it because he would think as a director, like, all right, this is happening over here, but he wouldn't get the impetus as the actor yet. You know? He would anticipate it, and they'd have to go back. And I thought that's an interesting note about the making of this movie. Does it ultimately make it more watchable? No, not really. Not really. What did you think?
I think this is a great short film. I think this is a great Twilight Zone episode. This is not a great movie. If I would have seen this in the theater, I think I might have been annoyed. Because I think this movie is marketed as a horror movie. It even says on the poster, like, this is the scariest movie this year. No, it is not.
It's not the scariest movie of any year.
Of any
ever.
year, yeah.
Like, it's not a scary movie.
It is a gimmick of a movie.
Yeah.
And I can't even say that it's well done.
Okay. Well, I mean, you mentioned that it has a super low budget, right? And I think a couple other things besides
Although $2 million isn't really that low of a budget for what I feel we see on screen.
Really? I don't know. Maybe I'm just overestimating how much things
I
cost.
Think some college film students could have made this for $100,000.
Well, I think it's easy to say that now because he's already done it.
Sure.
I think they'd have to be pretty brilliant fucking college film students. I'm not saying that there's not some that are out there, but he kind of figured out the camera and how to do it. Like the lighting in this movie, I took notice of too, because there is like no lighting in this movie. It's like lit with lamps in your house. Yeah, you know, there's
it's
nothing.
Lit like The Revenant. It's natural lighting, whatever is lit, however it's lit. Yeah,
but also that camera. Sometimes it reminded me. You remember when HDTVs first came out? And everyone's like,
everything looked like it was on the BBC.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly exactly right. You know, everything, it was like, oh, the picture's so clear. It's like you're looking through a window, and you're like, it is like I'm looking through a window. But it's also like I'm looking like onto a stage or something. There was something just odd about the way things look. And in that way, the combination of the camera and the lighting in this made it seem like almost too real, to the point that I thought, you know what the best way to watch this would be is with VR goggles.
Oh, yeah. You know, that might be the way to market this movie, if you could VR piece.
Put this movie in your entire field of vision.
Yeah.
It's so wrapped up into the gimmick of the POV that seeing outside the frame...
Never any close-up shots, all wide shots.
Yeah. That seeing outside the frame is almost like a distraction. So I thought, put a VR set on and you could watch this movie, and then you would be that character. You know, you would be right in there. I don't know, maybe he wasn't interested in that level of immersion, but I thought it would have made it a little bit more engaging that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't say that I like this movie because it just was not what I thought it was going to be. So maybe if I knew what it was going to be, I would have felt differently about it, because I kept expecting it to become spooky at some point. I mean, yeah, it has some creepy moments, for sure, but not the way I was expecting it.
Yeah.
It is boring. And like you said, the first 15 minutes or so, I am checking my phone going, okay, I don't quite get this movie yet.
Yeah.
This is just a camera walking around getting clips of conversations. And much like in A Violent Nature, where Johnny is walking around, getting clips of story elements from people.
Sure.
That was way more entertaining. And I would rather watch Johnny walk around in the woods than watch this camera swoop around the house like a ghostly cameraman.
There's certainly a lot more payoff in A Violent Nature. And I didn't necessarily love that movie, but this one, I do think the cast does a pretty good job in this for what they're doing. I did like the...
Yes and no. I thought there was a lot of what felt like forced acting. And I think it's because a lot of these takes are really, really long. This also felt like a play to me.
Yeah. There's some moments that I thought were inconsistent, and far be it from me to second guess fucking Steven Soderbergh.
Like subplot stuff?
No. Just in the construction of it, like it very frequently goes all to black. You know what I mean? Blacks out, and then you get the whole next scene. It goes all to black. And for about, I would say, 85% of those moments, it's just like all black. No picture, no sound, and then next scene picks up, right?
Yeah.
But then me too. And then there are a couple of times where the music sweeps through that black. You know what I mean? Like the music is playing at the end of one scene, it goes black, the music's still playing, and you start the next scene and the music is still playing. And it kind of carries you through those. But most of the time, I find those complete stops to disengage me. You know, they take me out of it.
Jarring.
Yeah,
completely
it's
jarring.
just like an end of that scene, and end of that scene, and end of that scene. And it feels...
You're just stringing scenes along, and you're trying to pick along a story. Should we rate it and go to the lobby and come back and ruin it for everybody?
Yeah. I will just say this. Before I watched the movie, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, and the critic score is like 88%, and the audience score is like 52%. So right away, exactly. I was like, am I about to watch art house horror? And yes, I would.
That is true.
Like I said, I hesitate to call it horror necessarily.
I wouldn't.
But it is certainly like an art house type picture that I think has a very limited audience. And some people may love it, and they may talk it up for many years, but I think most people are going to forget about this movie.
Some will say it's brilliant. Others will be like, ugh.
I mean,
I feel like I wasted my time.
If you're in film school studying to be a cinematographer, you're lapping up everything Soderbergh is fucking giving you. You know,
you're like, oh man, you are sporting wood for this movie because this is your jam.
So, how much wood are you sporting for presents?
Not much wood. Technically, I'd give it a 6. As a movie, I'd give it a 4.
So, are you going to give it a 5 altogether?
Sure. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah.
I didn't outright hate it. I didn't like it enough to want to watch it again.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.5, honestly. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I mean, there's stuff I find engaging about it. There's stuff I find engaging about it, and technically, I do think it's interesting, but I want more than just an interesting movie.
Yes. Let's go to the lobby, come back, and talk in depth.
All right. I'll see you in a bit.
Hello there. Give the demonstration of my new invention, the Goodies Machine. Special for patrons of this drive-in, the machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you.
And we are back. Did you find any popcorn buckets floating around in the
Well, I did not,
Lobby.
but the skunk's presence has gotten more potent in here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I might just fade to black during this recording. Yeah, there's a whole family of them there now.
Oh, man.
It's great.
I am sorry.
Yeah. Yes, we are back, and let's talk some presents here.
Let's talk some presents for sure. Neither one of us really cared for this movie much. I guess I'm a little surprised. I thought you were going to like it more. I thought you were going to lean more into the art house aspect of it, or the long takes and acting.
It's interesting. It is
like
interesting.
A play.
I didn't think about it, but you are right. This is a great short film. It's a great Twilight Zone episode or something like that. If it was only a half hour, I probably would really dig it.
Yeah,
but it just
absolutely.
It kept
and it's a short movie. It's 85 minutes.
Oh wow, time
and it's
does
probably
not fly
60 minutes too long.
Well, yeah. No, I disagree with you about the performances. For the most part, I mean, I really enjoyed Chris Sullivan as the dad. I thought he did a great job.
He's the best character.
Sure, of
and
course.
He's got the best line of all too.
Oh, what's that?
It's when he's looking at his son and he says,
"Oh, there's a decent man in you somewhere."
Yeah, and someday I hope I get to see him.
Yeah, that was a good line.
That was a good line, for sure. That was a good Soderbergh line, or David Koepp, who wrote Jurassic Park.
It's funny you mentioned that this is like watching a play. Do you know they shot this in chronological order?
I did not know that.
Yeah. They shot it in chronological order, again, because Soderbergh, who was playing the part of the presence, wanted to feel like he was learning what was happening as they were going along.
Wow. Well done.
So, yeah, there's only... Oh, hey. This has been a Hollywood Minute.
Nice. You got one. That's good. We probably could have did that a couple times during Poltergeist, but I was just too excited to talk about
just
Poltergeist.
Wanted to talk about it.
Great. Yeah.
But
like,
enough of that.
Don't worry about putting sounds in.
Now let's talk about presents.
Meh.
Yeah, the lighting bothered me. And I did watch a film nerd go on and on about how much he liked this movie. And he talked about lighting. He's like, look, you don't need big, expensive lighting. He did all this with lamps.
Yeah, he sure did.
Lighting is like the unsung hero of films and theater, honestly, too. It's like good lighting shows you where to look, can lead you where to focus, helps tell the story so much clearer. And in this case... it was just like you standing there watching something in your living room.
Yeah, this movie felt super bland to me. I mean, it opens with camera sweeping around. It's always camera sweeping around.
Yeah.
You know, going downstairs. And this is my first problem with it. If you're going to do a movie like this, even at this $2 million budget, which I find to be high for what I was shown on screen. Now, maybe there was some digital cleanup stuff that had to happen, and that's where a lot of that came from. But you shoot it in 11 days with a cast of 5 people.
Yeah.
They got like a SAG waiver. They were shooting during the writers and SAG strike at the time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they had a waiver to do the movie. And you've probably got a fairly small crew. He's running the camera himself.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand where all this money is going because there really isn't any effects. And here's the first thing I thought of is you're just running up and down the stairs and going room to room. A ghost has corporeal movement.
Yeah, right.
And can float through walls and through things. If you would have dissolved through a wall into a room, I would have bought this way fucking more.
Yeah.
Cut giant fucking holes in the walls and then CG you're going through a wall.
In fact,
do some fun shit like that. But no.
In fact, I noticed at one point too, like the door shuts on the ghost and it stopped. And I thought, you know, he's making his own rules with the ghost, right? It does look like it's floating a little bit, but it never looks like it's floating like, you know, through the air or any sort of distance off the ground.
it just felt to me like a ghost of a cameraman running around with a camera.
With slippers on his feet. I did read that he screwed up some takes too, because like anytime he had to go upstairs, he was like, there's no way I could use this rig and not look at my feet as I went up the stairs. So he had to like rehearse, this is how I'm going to have to hold it to get the shot that I want. So he doesn't just like totally wipe out on the fucking stairs.
Yeah, and he wore like soft slippers and things to make less noise as he's running around the house with a camera, chasing these actors that are just monologuing. And sure, I get that you're a ghost in a house, you're not present all the time, you're just floating in and out, and you're catching things here and there. Yeah. But it would like float in and catch part of a conversation and then go downstairs and catch part of a conversation. I get the craft of the long takes, and here comes the cameraman. Okay, now we're getting ready to start our dialogue for our 4-minute scene or whatever it is, as the camera floats around the room and then leaves. But these little snippets of life that you're getting from them, like she's having some sort of legal trouble. The husband at one point is talking to a friend about how much trouble can I get in if my wife is doing something illegal. And you're, this is
she
interesting.
has
I wonder what's going
conversation with the kid that says like, look, even if you make the wrong choice for the right reason, you can still be okay with yourself when she's had too much to drink. Yeah.
She's, I like you best, essentially. You're the reason I'm here.
There's a lot of those plot threads that get sort of unanswered, and I think that's also one of the disappointing things, is that we both love a good ghost story, right? Sure. Part of the joy of the ghost story is the mystery of what's going on. So when you hear characters talking about things, at least when I hear it, my brain is like, how is this relevant to what is going to be the reveal? What did mom do that was illegal? What did mom do that she's uncomfortable with, or the husband is uncomfortable with? Or are they going to flip it? Is it going to be the husband that ends up doing something that we find out has done something horrible because he's been a good guy this whole time? Like what is this ghost story? What is this mystery that is going to unfold? And all of that stuff was tertiary. This is a movie that has a very simple story at its heart, but it's really a movie that's about camera and camera work. It's a showcase of that rather than the story. I mean, I kind of hate to say that, but that's the thing that I'm taking from it. It's like, look at this camera work.
Does the daughter have a drug addiction? Oh, the daughter's friend died of an overdose. Oh, fentanyl, that's a thing. We're all worried about fentanyl now. We have to keep an eye on her. She needs to start new medication. We should get her another therapist. She's obviously upset about her friend who passed away. And then, her brother is a douchebag. He is a fucking douchebag.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
He is.
So the family moves in, right? You get the realtor who essentially sells the family this house at the beginning. The mom's all excited. It's got a good school district. Our son will be on the swim team. He's going to do great here.
That's her whole point, is the son can be on the swim team in the school district.
Yeah. And the dad's like, well, our daughter, is it too soon? She's just had her friend die. And mom's like, no, she'll be fine. She's fine. She just needs time. Anyway, more about my boy. Blah, 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 blah. I love my boy. Exactly. My boy is great.
I love my boy.
Dad's like, that you got 2 kids. She's like,
yeah, he does say that at one point.
Yeah. And I do think that the actress who plays Chloe, Kalina Liang, I think is her name. I think she does a great job in this.
Sure.
Really, her and Chris Sullivan, who plays the husband, their relationship, and maybe I'm just a sucker for a father-daughter relationship at this point in my life.
That's the strong point of the movie.
But if I'm going to latch onto anything in this movie from the characters, it's going to be how the two of them are sort of getting through this whole thing.
Yeah.
She seems attuned to the presence right away, and the presence seems fixated on her. It's often in her closet. It starts off in her closet, and that's something that I don't understand about this movie.
I don't either.
Later on when you figure out who the presence is, I just think
which I honestly didn't get.
Why the fuck were you in her closet the whole time then? Why? Because it's constantly retreating into that closet. I think it starts at the window, and then it might end in the closet in that first opening long take. A lot of its scenes after the blacks start in that closet or end in that closet, and I don't get it. I don't get why that was home base for the presence.
No, I don't. There's a lot of things I don't get. Let's not skip to the end, but you can say you understood who the ghost was at the end, right?
I did.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I still thought the ghost was somebody else. And then when I learned who the ghost was at the end, I was like,
really? Scratch your head. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Well, like I said, Soderbergh's kind of playing with his own rules here. I do think it is kind of established. This movie does have some things in common with Poltergeist, right? Them both being sort of family dramas.
They take place in a house.
In the house. Yes, but like at one point they bring the psychic in to get the reading and stuff.
Yep. Spielberg, Soderbergh. Yep. Both movies start with a P.
They have the same font.
They have the same font. We've discussed all these things already.
Early on, too, before they have moved in, some contractors come in to paint, and you get like one of them who's like, he's not going to go in that room.
Yeah.
It kind of tries to set up this mystery a little bit, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Not well, though.
No. Watching the movie the second time with the subtitles on helped me with some of these little subplots that are going. I understood a little bit more clearly. They did lay the groundwork for some of this stuff, but it's a tall order to ask somebody to watch this.
You liked it a little less than I did.
Yeah.
I only watched it once.
Well, I want to make sure I'm not missing the mark on something when I...
And I felt like I should watch it again, but I was like, I just don't know if I have the time. I'm kind of cramped with time. And then I was just like,
it's just a question of when you see something that has such craft behind it, and it ultimately leaves you feeling hollow, I think, am I a dummy? Did I miss something here?
Yeah. Why does everybody love this and I don't?
Well, not everybody does. It is lots of critics, but not many of the audience.
Because I think it was just marketed poorly. It was marketed as it's scary, it's a ghost movie, it's horror, and it is not any of those things. It is a ghost movie, yes. But Ghost is a ghost movie. And probably is scarier, to be honest.
Yes, has scarier.
The shadow people in Ghost, kind of terrifying.
Get off my train! This is my train! Get off my train!
Now that's a ghost movie.
Molly, you in danger, girl. Come on. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I just watched Ghost a couple of months ago, actually.
Did you?
I did.
Nice. Patrick Swayze. Fucking king.
On top of his game there.
Yeah, totally.
And very cute. And Demi Moore,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The iconic scene, the pottery scene. Come on. There's some good stuff. Oscar-winning performance by Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oda Mae Brown.
Yeah.
Took home the Oscar for that, did you?
Yeah, right. Okay. Sure.
But yeah, Presence is a very small cast, right? You just basically got your family, a couple of tertiary characters like the realtor and the contractor, but then also got Ryan, who is the brother's friend. The brother's name is Tyler. He brings over Ryan someday. Ryan sees Chloe, the daughter. He's like,
the popular kid. Yeah, he's a douche.
He's cool. Yeah. He's like, I'm cool. I like to party. I'm a pharmacist's son, so I can get anything I need. I'm like, okay, great.
But the brother doesn't do drugs. He's not interested.
If it grows in the ground, that's fine, but I think he says that
Listen,
at one
kid,
point.
everything fucking grows in the ground, okay? Idiot.
He is.
It's just processed in different fucking ways, you idiot.
He is a douche. But in Lucy Liu, did it seem to you that Lucy Liu is the mom? She drinks a little bit too much, and she's like, "You're my boy. You're everything I do for you." She's really oddly handsy with him, I thought. I was like, if my mom touched me like that, all drunk, I think I would be massively uncomfortable. She's like leaning into him and like giggling at all his jokes and like stroking his arm.
She's almost like a swooning girl.
Yes. I felt
that's in love with a boy.
That's the vibe I was getting too. It was very odd. I even started to wonder if the movie was going to take a turn that way.
Yeah.
Like,
and it might have been a more interesting movie had it.
Well, but nobody really has that much going on, except for maybe Chloe, who is mourning the recent death of her friend and is thus connected to this presence. Yes. And you think that the presence, once it starts to make itself known, is Nadia. And it's only doing small things. Chloe comes out of the shower and she realizes all of her books have been moved away. And, you know, you get the shot of
Frank, we're just going to fly some books around the room.
Ooh, it's a book. Ooh. It reminds me of that.
Son of the Invisible Man.
Yes, Amazon Women on the Moon. Ever seen a shirt make a phone call? And Big League Jr. just naked, putting on a shirt like, ooh.
Yeah. This is a pretty great skit.
Hey, look, everybody, here comes the Invisible Man.
Yeah, everyone's just playing along, pretending that he's invisible, but he's just naked.
Taking the dart out of the guy's hand. Moving it through the air, sticking it in the board. Good shit. No, none of that.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, look that up.
None of that.
Women on the Moon.
None of that in this movie.
So douchebag comes over. He's obviously hot for the sister, and Tyler. Is it Tyler or Taylor?
Tyler, I think.
Not impressed that the dude is keen on his sister in any way.
No. And Ryan even says, like, when they come home at one point, just him and Chloe. And she's coming on pretty strong to him. And he's like, your brother, he's got a real mean streak. I don't know if you know this, but... and he's playing it real cool. But she's like, no, come on up into my room. And they kind of get a little flirty and a little fresh with each other. And things start to get a little heated. And the presence does not like this. Presence takes all the shelves in the closet and slams everything up from the rack. Just falls out of the... What the hell's going on? And then they stop what they're doing because Chloe maybe thinks that Nadia is watching over them or something. Yeah. And that's when she gets blown in the face. She's like really close. And
that's right.
Must have been Steven Soderbergh just right in her face. The director just blew in her face. Oh my God.
And she's like, wintergreen?
Yeah. What is it? It's just the wind. Anyway. And then shortly thereafter, Tyler is telling that story about, there's this girl. And I will admit, this moment does feel stilted and forced. This monologue is just really weird. I'm not sure if anything
the girl they pulled a prank on.
Yeah, and the prank is really...
they were some boy.
Kind of lame.
Yeah, they text her, tell her to show up somewhere wearing some stupid shirt.
Yeah.
And everyone's just there to make fun of her. This is the start to a fucking slasher movie, by the way.
Yeah.
The girl falls down the stairs and is crippled. And her brother, who is like a,
Stop trying to make this movie interesting. Stop it. Stop it. But he's telling the story, and there's this implication that the girl took like a nude picture or something like that, and that it got around the school. Presence didn't like that either. Presence runs... in its slippers through the living room, up the stairs, into Tyler's room, and
starts wrecking it.
Yeah. One other thing I find unusual about this is that this house doesn't look lived in at all.
No.
Like, other than the kids' rooms.
This is the cleanest house.
Yes.
Ever.
And I would have been okay with that if we had seen any indication that the characters like Lucy Liu or the dad were like anal retentive like that. But there's nothing out of place anywhere in the kitchen, the living room, the dining. Nobody leaves their fucking keys anywhere. Nobody sets their phone on a table or anything like that.
Set deck and props did their job on day one, and that they went home, and they came back on day 12, and they cleaned up the house.
No, other than that, the kids' rooms have something going on.
Yeah.
Everything else...
Bland.
Super bland. Just a bunch of lamps lighting the room and nothing getting in the way of Steven Soderbergh just in his slippers, just traipsing through the room.
You can't hear me. You can't see me. I'm a ghost.
That'd be hilarious if
wore
that's
like a white suit.
I hope so. I hope
sheet over his head.
You can't see me.
It'd be the best. if he had just acted like
a
that.
sheet with just a hole cut for the lens for the camera. I would watch that movie.
That would be great. Oh God, can you imagine if they had a making of Presence and that's what you saw?
Oh, totally.
Fucking the Academy Award goes to.
Yeah.
Slippers just traipsing around. Wonderful. Yeah. Presence doesn't like it that this nude picture of the girl got shared. Everything is leading you to believe that it is Nadia, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Tears off. Is that a poster of Michael Phelps on your wall, swimmer?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Look at these trophies. This is what I think of your
knock them on the
breaststroke.
floor.
Yeah, fuck you,
Yeah.
Tyler. Presence angry. Presence smash.
Present smash. Yeah.
Destroys it.
Not
all.
as cool as the Poltergeist room after the guy tells the story about the Matchbox car and they open the door and everything is flying around the room. No, not as cool.
But
We're
like
just knocking shit off shelves.
So they all run up. The family runs up like, what the hell's going on? And they see this presence. And Chloe has already talked about it. And her brother's like, bitch, you crazy. And Dad's like, hey, don't say that to your sister. But now they see it. The doors on the chest of drawers, you get that old fucking haunted mansion effect. Slamming in and out.
Sure.
Like, ooh.
There's grips on the other side. Push bars.
Spooky. Ooh, no. And shit's just getting smashed. Oh, man, what are you doing in my room? They all go outside. Like, we don't want to stay here anymore. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And Chloe's trying to say, like, look, it's okay. The presence doesn't want to hurt anybody. And listen, Tyler was being a complete fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
Complete asshole. So they decide, like, no, I guess we'll stay and we'll talk to the realtor. And, well, they say that they don't know if anything has happened in that house.
Yeah.
They're legally bound to tell
all
us.
seems clear.
But
no one's died.
They know
there.
someone, so they're going to bring in their Zelda Rubinstein, their Angina Barons to come in.
Yeah.
And instantly, this person, this lady and her, I think her husband are walking towards the door, and she looks right at the camera. Because she can see the presence. Or
like you almost
presence.
bumped into Steven, didn't you? First day on set, almost bumped into Steven.
Yeah.
Way to go.
She comes in the house and is being not terribly weird or anything, just sort of doing a vibe check on the whole
On
house.
guard a little bit,
like, what's
checking
going
it
on?
out. Sure.
But this woman will lay down the ground rules. She's like, this presence lives out of time. There is no past or future for this thing. And it doesn't even know kind of who it is or what it wants. It is learning it as it exists, I guess.
And I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that idea.
I didn't mind it. I've certainly seen examples of ghosts that sort of live in and out of time that have, I thought, worked to pretty great effect in movies and shows and stuff. And it did seem like this ghost didn't know what the fuck it was doing.
Yeah.
Just running around in its slippers.
Just
You can't see me. I'm Steven Soderbergh.
the ghost of cameras present.
He really does. He just does it all the time. And finally, one day, somebody was like, you know what, Frank? Let's just make a movie of Steven doing his fucking weird thing.
With the camera and the slippers, pretending he's a ghost.
They're like, I don't know if you heard, Steven, but there's a big strike going on, so you can't even make a movie. He's like,
You'll never see me make a movie. I'm Steven Soderbergh.
I don't know why he became the leprechaun for a second. I once be gold.
So, yeah, she says,
I once be DSLR.
have I mentioned I want me gimbal? So, yeah, the psychic comes in and gives him a rundown. Well, thanks for your time. And she will come back a couple days later and she'll say, like, I had a dream last night.
Yeah.
And I think this thing is trying to protect Chloe or has something to do with Chloe. And also I see a window. There's a window that won't open. It has something to do with the window. Okay, but the dad is listen.
Listen, the dad was a believer 2 days ago, and now he is a complete naysayer of this woman.
Well, like in Poltergeist, I don't know why you turned skeptic all of a sudden.
Exactly.
But he won't let her in the house because everybody else, well, maybe not Chloe, but his wife and his son have been like, dude, you don't let that crazy woman in here anymore.
Yeah, stupid.
Again, when you see the shit happen with your own eyes, you just got to start believing. You know?
Yeah. Come on. So yeah, she foreshadows the window and protecting Chloe, and then he shushes her away and she leaves. And then we pretty much get to the end of the movie, right?
We have seen one scene just before this too, where Ryan, Tyler's friend, who's been hitting on Chloe, goes into her room.
The other douchebag.
And she is in a shower. I think they've already had sex. And you see him try and spike her drink with something. He gets her a drink.
At the time, I totally did not get it because they already had sex.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to slip her what looks like roofies. And I'm thinking, what's the point? I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense.
This isn't following the Bill Cosby playbook.
No. You slip her the roofies before you do the sex.
Yeah, so he spikes her drink, and, you know, you are watching this as the presence as you watch this whole movie, so that when she comes out...
Because you are the presence.
She comes out of the bathroom and, have a drink, and...
Yeah, sit down.
I
made you a screwdriver, because that's what kids drink these days.
I saw that. Screwdrivers. It's funny.
Vodka and orange juice. That's all they're ever drinking. Like, really? Is that all you guys could get? Was COVID happening also? Well, I'm not sure. Should you all be wearing masks, maybe?
But it knocks the drink
What's
off.
the price of eggs?
It knocks the drink off the coffee table.
Yeah.
So we have seen the presence tear off like a shelf. We've seen it move books
because they were having sex.
Things. Yes. Yep. We've seen it totally break everything in Tyler's room. Like
it has a physical grip.
Yeah, right? I don't know why it loses its grip. Because
me either.
Fast forward now to the end of the movie. The parents have gone away. Tyler invites Ryan over. They're listening to music. Ryan spikes Tyler's drink, right? So Tyler passes out. And then Ryan goes upstairs to Chloe's room. I find it hard to believe that this...
But he spikes a drink there, too.
Yes.
I am just going to pass everyone out in this entire house.
It's hard for me to believe that, like, with their parents gone and, like, this fella that she'd been kind of messing around with, that Chloe wouldn't have come downstairs to join her brother and him, you know, listening to music and drinking.
Didn't make sense to me either.
But she's up there, and then Ryan's like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, oh, you know.
I brought you a drink.
Yeah, well, what about my brother? And he's like, yeah, it was bedtime for Tyler. And I'm making him sound like a douchebag, but I will say that this kid who's playing
is a douchebag.
Ryan, but he's doing a really great sort of insidious douchebag where he's giving the illusion of control over to her all the time. Like, look, we can stop anytime you want to.
It's totally up to you.
It's up to you.
It's totally your call.
And he's also playing sympathy card like, oh, man, you know, I'm so stupid and I'm so worthless. And
he's a fucking gaslighting cunt.
Oh, he's the fucking worst. And you find out just how. Yeah. Because as much as I'll rag on this movie, after he coerces her to take the drink and she essentially passes out, but not unconscious necessarily, just immobile. She's still breathing. And he pulls out that little tube with the saran wrap in it. And this is when you find out, like,
what? No.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He is a serial killer.
He is the guy that has killed her friend and another girl at this point.
Yeah.
And he...
making it appear like overdoses.
Where they just stopped breathing. It is really kind of a horrid way to die. And
it is.
It is actually.
This is a very creepy, fucked up part of the movie. This is where the movie kind of takes a left turn.
If there's any horror elements in this, it's not the ghostly presence. It is this guy in this moment. I think it's actually a pretty well-written little monologue he has about that line between life and death and how he gets off on it. And he talks about
he's got some actorly things to chew on for this, for sure.
How thin that layer of plastic is. And he puts it on her mouth, and she just kind of like
sucking it in
and can't breathe, and then he kind of peels it back so she kind of gasps a little bit, and then he puts it on her again, and this is the most disturbing part of the whole movie, and it's
totally.
And you think like,
I'm only a foot away from you with my camera filming this. I'm Steven Soderbergh.
Have I mentioned that I want to be gold?
You couldn't hear me because I'm wearing slippers.
I snuck up on you.
You never saw me, Steven Soderbergh.
Not really here.
Sneaky Steven.
So he's filming this as our girl's in peril, and then the presence can't, and I don't get it, can't peel the saran wrap away, can't knock him away. We've seen this presence
has no physical effect anymore at all.
It's doing a thing where it looks like it's hitting an invisible wall now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure, were we supposed to track an arc where, like, as the presence becomes more familiar with what it's trying to do and what it is, that it has less purchase on the world? I didn't get it.
Which doesn't make sense because we've all seen the movie Ghost, and ghosts have to learn how to manipulate things.
That's right.
In the physical world. It's not easy to do.
Although the ghost in this movie, day one, is like, let me just move this big pile of books and shit around.
Let me tidy up your room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, look at me. I'm a floating book.
So the presence can't get through. I don't get why it can't now.
Yeah,
push him out of the way.
Off our reality. It cannot,
or push this horrible person off of her.
Mm-hmm.
So it
zips down the stairs. Oh, I hope I don't slip on the stairs. Luckily, my slippers have grippies on them. Steven Soderbergh.
And he runs down to Tyler, and he gives a little high-pitched whistle in Tyler's ear, which wakes him up. Now, this kid is coming out of a drug and
he's drugged.
Yeah.
He's fucking drugged.
But he manages to get to his feet and run up this, like he knows exactly where he's going. I mean...
Again.
I don't know... It would have seemed to me to make more sense.
Doesn't he wake up and go, Chloe?
Yeah, he does. He knows exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is where the connection is happening somehow. But the fact that he gets up there so quickly, he just sort of like runs up into the room. Hey, get off
in
her.
A drugged state. 2-3 stairs at a time.
No, it does make sense. He tackles
like
the kid.
Mark Spitz.
Tackles the guy, and they go right out the window. Crunch.
Fucking
off the ground.
Doing a swan dive right out of the window. He is a swimmer.
Yeah, he is. But he goes into the shallow end there.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Straight down.
Both done.
And, serial killer dead, brother dead.
Brother dead.
Oh,
well.
The window won't open? I don't understand why the window won't open, because it did.
I mean,
in a way.
I mean, broke is open.
Yeah.
So then we...
Presence pulls back into the closet or something,
right,
or cuts to black or whatever.
And now it's a couple days later, and we're moving out. Just like at the end of Poltergeist. Time to get out of here.
Time for the family to leave. Everyone's sad.
Mom is distraught, and Mom gets a little whiff of the presence. Oh, what's that? And walks into the living room. Now, almost from the very beginning of this movie, they have shown this mirror, this old-timey mirror and mantle. And when the psychic came in, she kind of touched the mirror as well. So, I don't know about you, but I thought, well...
Mirrors hold presence.
It's just a matter of time, right? Before we see something in the mirror.
It has been 84 minutes.
And who's in the mirror? Oh, it's the brother.
It's the brother, Tyler.
What? No.
Yep.
Yes?
It's the mirror.
Tyler. So the brother was the presence the whole time.
Well, here's what I thought. Oh, now he's going to haunt the house.
Oh.
Now he's here because he died here.
Oh.
That's what I thought immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost forgive you for thinking that. Mm-hmm. Watching it a second time.
Why, thank you.
With the subtitles on, Lucy Liu is saying, it was him, he was protecting you, the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I heard her say that, but I just didn't care at that point. I didn't care enough to make that connection. Because at this point I was like, what a dumb ending.
Well, honestly, I was okay with it being the brother until I really thought about him. Like the fact that he was a ghost, but he was alive in the house being haunted by his own ghost. But then they say like, well, this ghost really lives out of time. I'm fine with that. But what I don't get is why he was such a fucking dick to his sister.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we start, the presence has a real affinity with the sister, is like tuned into her.
Yeah.
And is always hiding in her closet. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If you were the brother,
he's hiding in her closet.
Why are you always
which is
in
strange.
the closet? Why do you keep going back to the closet? It just seemed like...
Why won't Tom Cruise get out of the closet?
He's right in there with R. Kelly.
Yeah, and John Travolta, they're all sitting in the closet. Why won't they just come out?
Oh, my God. Oh, trapped in a closet.
With me, Steven Soderbergh. You thought it was me. I've been the brother the whole time.
No.
Exactly,
Yes,
Mark
Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
They're all trapped in the closet.
Yeah. So, like I said, with a ghost story, I want to figure out the mysteries. I want to follow the breadcrumbs. And at that, I was like, huh?
Yeah. No way you fucking see this coming.
Yeah, I would have been fine with being the brother if there had been some sort of little, hints. If all of a sudden, like, the light bulb would have come on. Like, that's why he was always in the swimming pool. Or, like that.
But there's none of that. I mean, he's a dick to her.
Yeah. He's
the ghost
really
is mad at him.
Yes.
And wrecks his room.
Yes.
Because of a trick he pulled on somebody. Is that him being dead going, wow, that really was inappropriate. And I'm angry at myself and I'm going to trash my own room. That doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Yeah.
That right there is a red herring that is so huge. It's like, oh, the presence is a woman. The presence must be Nadia because you did something shitty to a girl that she probably knew, and now it's trashing your room.
Yeah. That's the road it's leading you down, and then...
Yeah. Really kind of mean to make you think that.
Yeah.
And then pull the rug out from under you at the end and go, it was the brother the whole time. It's a Scooby-Doo ending for fucking sure.
Yeah, and Lucy Liu screams and falls on the ground. Oh, he was protecting you. And then the presence goes out the front door and sort of like drones up into the sky. You see that?
In a sense.
I'm Steven Soderbergh, and I'm floating in the sky on a drone.
Steven Soderbergh, away!
All that was left was a pair of slippers at the front door. But they say that on every third Sunday in June, if you leave a slipper outside your door, Steven Soderbergh will leave a roll of undeveloped film in the toe of your slipper.
It's in a format they don't use anymore. Soderbergh, away!
I'm shooting this entire thing on an iPhone.
An iPhone 8. I wanted to test the limits of its resolution. Soderbergh, away!
Oh, that's so... Shit. We're sorry, Steven. I apologize.
I mean, Soderbergh has a wonderful body of work. There's just so much good stuff in there.
Just not this one.
I was just having a good time.
I'm a ghostly cameraman. You can't see me. I've covered a sheet over everything but the lens.
I'm only 1 foot away from you. You can't see me, but I can see you so clearly because of this revolutionary technique. I have all the light I need from the lamps. I don't need anything else. I can see you. I'm
The ghostly specter
creeping
of Steven
up the
Soderbergh.
stairs. But you can't tell. It's so smooth on this gimbal. It doesn't look like I'm taking any steps. I'm just floating.
I can't walk through the walls. I should because I'm a ghost, but I can't. I have to open the doors.
After I tried it the 7th time and I split my head open on the wall, they told me, Stephen, you're not really a ghost, but I'm getting into character. You can't see me.
Steven sounds like Zelda Rubinstein.
Oh, shit. Do we need to tell people where they can find us? We already said Patreon. What about Instagram?
What about the Instagram?
Yeah, what about the Instagram?
What about the Instagram? Why don't you tell
That's
me?
a big Twinkie. That's the whole damn thing, 13 at Instagram. So find us there. Posting a lot of funny memes, some trailers to the movies, and lots of good stuff. Always love interacting with people on Instagram and on our Discord, pretty much any of our socials. Do we have?
Absolutely.
We're on Threads as well. Always looking
We're
for
on
more
Threads.
followers
We're on
Threads.
Instagram. We've got a Facebook page for the show. Everything's in the links. Links are all down below in the show notes. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Write a review. Screenshot that review. Email it to us at thewholedamnthing13@gmail.com. You'll be put into a drawing for a free t-shirt. We're going to pull 2. That means if 2 of you review, you're both going to fucking win.
No.
But I want more than 2 people to review.
And you can't just review it on 2 sites. Oh, fuck that. Go ahead. Review it on 2 sites. Double your chances of winning.
Sure. Go ahead. Send us 2 screenshots. We'll put you in twice for the drawing, if that's what you want. Free t-shirts. Free t-shirts for 2 lucky listeners. Maybe we'll even throw something else in. I don't know. Right now I'm feeling like I just want to give away the world to some fantastic people that are just going to say some good things. It's got to be a good review, though. You can't say, these guys are shit. I mean, you can, which might be funny. We'll read those
Steven
online.
Soderbergh impersonation was bullshit. They don't know what he sounds like at all.
They definitely have never heard Steven Soderbergh talk.
Oh, God. I should know. I'm really into DP.
Wait a minute. That came out wrong.
Hold on.
Are you also into the Turkish goggles?
That's a good way to get pink eye.
How about the taco dip?
All 7 layers? I only make it in the first 3. And then I gotta tap out.
Have you ever had a Sean Hannity?
Did you just ask me if I've ever had a Sean Hannity?
I did.
Wolf.
What if somebody went full Grinch on you?
I think that causes it to swell up 2 sizes too big.
Oh, yeah. Send us a review. We'll give you a sack lunch.
We love you, Mom. And take us out, Tyler.
The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
And that wraps up another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing with your industry professionals Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. I'm your announcer, Tyler Patton. Join us next time for the Amityville Horror. And don't listen. Well, I mean, I want you to listen next time. But the film that they're going to be comparing and contrasting to the Amityville Horror is called Don't Listen, I guess. I haven't seen it. I guess I haven't heard it either. Oh, that was rich. See ya, folks.